Now, we keep hearing all this crap about, COVID and 170,000 COVID deaths and all this other stuff. Everything is a COVID death these days, just so you know. And we got a little tape here for you explaining exactly how they come up with what is a COVID death.
This week, the state reported the death of a teenager in Cook County. Are you familiar with this case? If so, is this the state's first teenage death? And can you tell us if the teenager in question had underlying conditions?
Okay, we're going to get a definition now of how you can determine whether or not someone died with COVID. Very simple.
I don't have that information at my disposal at this time. I know we have had people of all age groups die. I just want to be clear in terms of the definition of people dying.
Okay, here comes the definition of death by COVID.
Of COVID. So the case definition is very simplistic. It means at the time of death, it was a COVID positive diagnosis.
That means no matter how you die, as long as you were positive for COVID when you died, you are a COVID death. Even if you got in a car wreck or you fell off a cliff, for whatever reason that you died, as long as you had COVID, it's counted as a COVID death. Listen.
So that means that if you were in hospice and had already been given, a few weeks to live, and then you also were found to have COVID, that would be counted as a COVID death.
There it was. Okay. She's even going to make it more simple for us.
Means that if, technically, even if you died of a clear alternate cause, but you had COVID at the same time, it's still listed as a COVID death.
So technically, even if you died of an alternate cause, if you had COVID when you died, it's called a COVID death. You wonder why the numbers are messed up.
So basically, everything is COVID. Even if you were asymptomatic, you had a massive car accident, your skull was crushed, you died in the car accident, in the autopsy, aftermath, they tested you, oh, he had COVID. The car accident becomes a COVID death. So, tomorrow I'm going to do a breakdown because the CDC has a great model out there where they talk about, in America, I think they estimate just on any given year, 7,000 deaths a day from all different things, tuberculosis, opioids, car crashes, cancer, all this other stuff, right? So anytime there's more than 7,000 deaths, then you would have a percentage of estimated deaths of better than 100%. And through the whole COVID spike period, there were only 7 days in America where we were over 100%. So that means the same amount of people were dying as the government expected on their actuarial table, but the government was also, why are we showing that? Why are we showing that? I don't know why we're showing that.
It just came up.
Okay. But it was up, it's been up, and I'm talking. Oh, okay. So anytime it's over 100% for the day, then that means we had more deaths than the government expected, and then you would think the overage would probably be COVID's. There was only 7 days throughout April where the spike period where we were over the estimated amounts of deaths. So it's getting fishier by the minute when they say there's 170,000 deaths. We got people who die in car accidents. We got people who die in a nursing home. Maybe they had a week or two to live, and they die of some other ailment. Their kidneys failed, their heart failed or something, but they had COVID in their system, so they call it a COVID death. And this all is really related to the fact that the federal government is giving out federal funding to help organizations deal with COVID. So the more COVIDs they say they had, the more federal funding they can get. And it's all just a big rip-off scheme. Many of you, in my final minute here, many of you have reached out to me and said you enjoyed my speech from the rally the other day. I appreciate it. Thank you. Many people saying thanks for what you do for me, for us, and you're doing it and keep doing it. I want to just reiterate, and I kind of live by this humility code where you always got to believe in humility. I personally don't think I'm doing anything for you, and I appreciate you saying that. I'm not being a jerk about it, but I'm doing it because that's what's inside me. That's what my parents instilled in me, that if there's something to be said, say it. Don't be the guy in the crowd who waits in the back. Don't be a loud mouth. Don't be a big mouth. Don't go out threatening people and bullying people. But you can be great, and you could speak for yourself, and you could speak for others who don't have the nerve to speak for themselves. And they gave me a lot of training. My parents put me in, acting classes when I was a kid, and my father used to do flashcards with me and my brother, and we used to learn how to. I got lucky. My mom and dad really put us in a position to speak, and I don't think I'm doing it for anyone. I think I'm doing it for us, all of us. And the little small slivers of talent that I have, that I can get up there and not be nervous and talk and speak and say what other people have on their mind. Most of the things I talk about are what other people say to me, and then I process them and try to put into real people speak. And like my friend Dom last night said, we should talk about black olives instead of black lives, and I did it. And the green olives are here. And as we wrap up this second hour of Liquid Lunch, thank you all for being there. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Tune in tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, and have a martini with some black olives, or throw them in your salad or something. How about all my foodies? How about we do a black olives day?